Dragon Ball Z.
Oh my! This is stupendous! Wow! What a great show! Unbelievable! Look at that!
Like Zameja, Frieza isn't so much cool as he is grody and scary, but when you're this hardcore, that works just as well in getting down to the brass tacks of brass knuckles diplomacy. Even though we meet some of his family members, Frieza seems to be in a class of terrifying all by himself, and butt-kicking might not have anything to do with it. I mean, jeez. What is he? I'm seeing a neuter male physiology here, but with the voice of a post-menopausal emphysemic buzzard with a vice clamp on its neck. Alien does not begin to describe this creature, or the cruelty it exhibits over and over, carrying the thickest resume of collateral damage out of any contender on the list.
Don't worry, everyone gets a turn. Good night, sweet prince.
His its crimes include blowing up at least 2 planets, exterminating countless races, including the strongest of all, the Saiyans, killing countless more Nameks, causing their elder to die from plain old grief, back-to-back with relishing the torturous deaths of numerous lead characters.
Hey with it, yeehaw! That's it, buckaroo, ride 'em, cowboy!
And making bad jokes. Well, okay, he actually has a pretty good sense of humor.
Here, you might want to keep it as a back scratcher. Where do I come up with this stuff?
And under suspicion of batting for some other team I really don't want to know about.
Having these balls makes me feel something that resembles joy, I think. I want to caress them.
But we all know Frieza's greatest crime of all. He just won't go away. The strongest of Goku's company can attack him with all their strength, and he'll just transform to his next level of impermeability again, and again, and again. There's no doubt his greatest crime is making us sit through 19 episodes of this with Goku alone, not counting all the brouhaha that came before Goku showed up. Why is he so persistent? What does he want? Oh, just immortality and universal domination. Until he gets it, he'll never stay down, and he'll never show mercy. Blast him with the energy of entire worlds, and he'll be back to wreak it tenfold. Defeat him completely, and he'll use the last ounces of strength in his severed torso to bite back in a foaming rage. Not even the full power of a Super Saiyan kills him completely, leaving the next generation to deal with Franken-Frieza. Not that slicing him into little pieces will keep him from trying to wreak havoc in Hell. Yeah, he's still causing trouble in Hell. Go figure. What Frieza lacks in charisma, he makes up for in legendary and absolute dominance, and enough massive chill factor to put the competition firmly on ice.
The pleasure's mine. What?
Shinobu Sensui from Yu Yu Hakusho.
The pleasure's mine.
He may not sip wine or wear a suit, but no contender fits the bill of the gentlemanly evil baddie at heart so well as Sensui. His code of ethics is paramount to him, and he cuts down black from white neatly and without hesitation. The problem is that ever since witnessing a sinful banquet with the humans he defended reveled in the torture of demons he had fought, his definitions of good and evil snapped and flipped to terrifying extremes, leading him to employ his physical and mental talents toward a new goal, releasing the hordes of Demon World on the Earth to obliterate mankind. And talents he has, any and every talent, honed to deadly perfection. Orator extraordinaire, poet, tactical genius, brutal fighting machine, since we can do it all because, well, to be honest, he's cheating.
Name's Kazuya, and Shinobu's taking a little nap right now, which was my idea. I show up when the other 6 can't handle it.
Hold on, the other 6?
That's right, it's a party in here.
To place Sensui at number 8 on the list requires some condensing, because technically he should be numbers 8 through 14. There are 7 of him. Kazuya is the bloodthirsty master of torture. Minoru is the persuasive plotter. Naru is his conflicted emotional vent to keep him from losing focus. And it's a woman. And other perfectly sanctioned personalities he created to carry the brunt of his other dirty duties, keep the original Shinobu's persona pure and resolute.
This ought to plug up your wound.
So with your favorite finish, a right-hand hook to the jaw. Despite your speed, my knowledge of this allowed me to turn just enough to make your fist slide off.
Now come to daddy. Ma, you've got the face of a little angel.
And now we return to your same old conventional punches.
Open your mouth and close your eyes.
Clearly, Hamlet ain't got nothing on this Black Angel in the mental mind frag department. While his other personalities cover the intricacies of his doomsday plot, he focuses his core self on mastering a power that takes 40 years and massive ambition and willpower to harness in less than 6 years. He not only beats our hero Yusuke, he kills him.
Trial of humanity. The defense rests.
And squashes all of Spirit World's emergency defense power with zero effort. Cha, we're all doomed. With Sensui in complete mastery of the strongest spiritual power in existence, sevenfold, it'll take the strongest of all demons to stop him. Well, what a coinky-dink, it's Yusuke's ancestral father, whose raging blood raises the detective from the dead to save humanity from its former defender. Sensui's odd secret goal coming true, to be killed by a demon for his own ambivalence, along with his tragic past, pulls him down a little, but only just a little. When it comes to really good boys going really bad, Sensui takes the cake. And the pie, and the cookies, and the ice cream, and the quiche, and the Twinkies, and the creme brulee.
It looks like you're losing your resolve, Hojo. Why don't I give you a baptism?
Makoto Shishio from Rurouni Kenshin. No, it's not an Egyptian mummy, it's a Japanese hitokiri, a government-hired assassin. Well, he was before the government decided Shishio was not as reliable as their former employee, Kenshin Himura, and the only retirement they saw fit for him was the permanent kind.
My entire body was burnt to a crisp, and my temperature rose to a level unthinkable for normal humans. In other words, the remnants of the flames of hell been burning inside my body for every single moment since then.
Shishio determines that the Meiji government who failed to off him is too weak to unite the country under their faulty ideals, and rallies the strongest swordsman in the country to his rebellion through an eerie combination of dignified propositions and savage raids that show he means business. This tough-skinned radical is a social Darwinist, a firm believer in survival of the strong above all else.
The fundamental basis of human nature is chaos. And this world itself is the very picture of hell. A life of purity, equality between men, those ideas are small and fragile. A nation in chaos is the way it must be. I'm really only trying to restore the natural order of things with the hell I'm creating.
And if you're gonna declare that on your manifesto, you darn well better be able to back it up personally. But Shishio is nothing if not strong. Very strong. Despite being in constant pain from the burns covering every inch of his body, Shishio learns to relish each fresh stab of battle as an opportunity to become more and more invincible. He's not even able to sweat, often popping open blisters and foaming at the mouth like a mad animal to keep himself alive. And no matter who he faces, he always does come out alive. His matches with Kenshin, Sonosuke, and even Saito are all over before they begin, and he's happy to consume their strength once he's finished with them. Yeah, not a metaphor. He likes to get a good taste of his victories, a la Mike Tyson, leaving Kenshin Holyfield stunned and praying he won't get rabies. Shishio is so consumed with his own physical perfection and conquest that he is comrade to no one, not even his devoted lover.
You're too soft. The battle isn't over yet!
I can't believe you were willing to go to such extreme lengths just to win when doing so meant betraying your love!
He is the pinnacle of unlimited power, an unstoppable cripple who nearly lays the nation to waste. But it seems his flaming mojo is too much for his own body to handle when he overheats in the heat of battle, igniting the fat in his body to turn him into a cackling beeswax candle. With nothing more to do than try to conquer hell itself. No, I'm not kidding.
To where, sir?
Where do you think? To take over this cozy place called Hell, naturally.
Shishio leaves his legacy as the juggernaut under wraps who almost repainted history with fire and blood. With any luck, he'll have more success in the afterlife, and take a big bite out of the devil himself.
Interesting theory. I will strive to keep any unpleasantness as far outside the court as possible. I swear it.
Griffith from Berserk.
Could it be? Could he have discovered me? No. There is no evidence left.
Those coincidental few of you who are right in the middle of watching or reading Berserk are probably wondering how this guy could be considered a villain. He's one of the lead characters and an incredibly likable guy. Well, I'm afraid that actually just puts him higher on the list before he, well, just skip this part, those few of you. But before you do, I should probably point out that he was never a very good person. Oh sure, he's got the charisma and the passionate soul, but when you consider that his glorious dream is really just to overthrow the good king of Midland and rule in his place, and that he has sacrificed lives, betrayed allies, and taken it up the back alley to achieve this end, well, he's pretty dubious already. Griffith is a master of deception and charm, so much so that his ambition rockets him from a peasant boy to honorary nobility over the course of about 10 years. He studies history, strategy, and politics, and binds that knowledge with his acute people skills to gain control of a mercenary band who is not only loyal, but more like his personal possessions.
And so, now you belong to me, Guts.
He befriends only those who can take him higher in the ranks, and destroys all those who pose a threat without mercy.
Griffith, you impudent swine! Do you really intend to kill me, the Queen?
Death on the battlefield comes regardless of class, royal or common. The loser must die.
His mastermind resolve is flawless until his most valued pawn, Guts, decides to leave the band at the Hawk, and Griffith realizes he's weaker than his lieutenant and can't stop him from doing it. Desperate to prove his supremacy over others, Griffith loses his head and pays the princess a late-night visit. Dreams officially ruined.
This is impossible. It's not him. I can't believe this is Griffith.
Now that he's a little mummified raisin in the pits of a dungeon, it seems even less likely that he could even be called a villain, much less be this high on the list. Still, Griffith's ruthless nature follows him even into his tortured, broken form, and when his cry for power is heard by the denizens of Hell, their offer piques his interest.
You. Out of all the thousands of comrades and tens of thousands of enemies, you alone obscured the vision of my dream. I submit.
Thus we watch as every character we have grown to know and love is ripped into pieces and devoured to make Griffith into a demon king poised to take Midland by storm. Well, almost everyone. The anime ends here, but the manga makes it clear that he has no regrets for anything he has done. This he says to Guts' face at the Hawk's burial ground, and he will grasp Midland in his blood-stained talons for millennia to come. Just try and stop him. You might as well try and stop a god, because Griffith has gotten his wish.
It's guns! I love guns! Jeez, it's even better! This'll be fun! What the hell was that all about?
Lad Rousseau from Bakano.
Sounds like death and danger. It sounds bad.
Danger! Danger! What's happening in the dining car? Is there blood? Who's killing who? Where did they get shot? I have to see. Things are really starting to get exciting. Yes, 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 yes!
Playful puppy dog nature aside, it speaks volumes of Lad that in a series chock full of immortal, super-powered gangsters, he's the one you'd least like to meet in a dark alleyway. And he's neither immortal nor super-powered. He's just completely out of his mind.
You're a freak. Homicidal lunatics think you're a nutcase.
Your attempt at flattery is so ham-handed.
Well, to a degree, there is a certain method to his obsession with murder.
The people I love to kill that really get me jazzed never see it coming. Maybe they're thinking about what they're gonna have for dinner. Just like you were, right before I walked in.
I'm tempted to say that out of any character on the list, Lad most epitomizes the kind of villain I was looking for when I made it. But the one part of the deliciously evil master that he's missing is, well, brains. Which explains his placement at number 5 instead. So his cranium may be full of rocks, and he prefers mayhem on a whim to evil plotting, but save that, he could not be more horrifyingly wicked or unbelievably fun. Yeah! Go, Lad, go! Wait. Oh, screw it. Yeah! Some psychopaths who live to kill do it because they don't know who they are or what they want, and they go crazy from the confusion. Lad knows exactly who he is and what he wants. He likes killing people, so he surrounds himself with confidants that have the same interests, and goes to town ransacking a train. No special reason. I mean, he makes one up, but it's so ridiculous that I've long forgotten what it really was.
Even though we are gonna shatter dozens of lives inside a crowded train, wearing white is gonna make the blood look so pretty.
He finds sadism arousing, so he falls in love with, of course, a masochist. Great idea, why not? Apart from his love for his fiancée, he doesn't seem to have any redeeming qualities whatsoever, so why is he so incredibly lovable, I wonder? It defies all logic, but, well, so does Lad. Makes sense, right?
Yeah, that's right! But you knew that!
He doesn't take anything personally, and he doesn't care about pulling jobs for money. It's all about the fun, and in a way, there's something admirable about that. I don't know what it is, but it's there. Why else would this yield applause?
Too bad. You were so close, but you couldn't figure out how to talk to me after all.
What?
I can't let a look like yours go unanswered. You're just so sure I'm not gonna do this.
Hooray! You show that small child. You. Sadly, Lad's lack of foresight is his downfall when faced with the Transcontinental's guardian monstrosity, the Rail Tracer, who kills all of his men and then outsmarts him into throwing himself off the train, sparing the passengers from any more of Lad's idea of a good time. The party was good while it lasted, but Lad being Lad, it's a lot more fun to watch than get a personal invitation. Aizen Sosuke from Bleach.
Aizen 隊長。
久しぶりだね、ひなもりくん。
That's funny. Aizen's on the list. I don't know, I thought he was pretty cool. I mean, as far as being a butt-kicking bureaucrat, which is basically what Soul Society's government is, let's face it, he seemed like a really nice guy. He's strict with his subordinates, but still acts as a friend or father to them when times are tough, and when he was murdered, I was pretty darn sad. So it turns out that that was just a dummy he had set up to fake his own death, and knowing Aizen, I'm sure he had good reasons for it.
ありがとう、ひなもりくん。本当にありがとう。
Well, thank goodness he's alive. I mean, his Lieutenant Momo just looks so happy.
さようなら。行くぞ、銀。
はい、アイゼン隊長。
Aizen must die.
Yeah, I'm not fooling anyone, am I? Many of you are further along in Bleach than I will ever be, and know darn well that Captain Aizen is a horrible, corrupted Shinigami whose massive ego has long ago eaten away whatever was left of his heart.
自分に憧れを抱く人間ほど御しやすいものはない。憧れは理解から最も遠い感情だよ。
He's also an excellent actor, making the revelation of his true design so hard to accept that they take episodes to reveal in full. But far from being boring, they're possibly the best episodes in the entire show. Aizen's been lying through his kind, diplomatic smile since the early days, when he spent his time on experiments to turn Shinigami into hollows as a superpowered hybrid, getting Kisuke framed and exiled for it. After that, he turned several of the captains to his side and used their help and the powers of his Zanpakuto over and over and over again to fool all of the other characters and the audience into thinking he was dead while he took up a seat in the Hollow's kingdom of Hueco Mundo and gathered his army of Arrancar for the mounting coup now coming to fruition, wherein he will master the powers of a Hollow and rule Soul Society with absolute omnipotence. Just... wow. Of course, revealing your whole evil plan to the hero is never a good idea, because now Ichigo can unleash his massive Bankai and maybe give Aizen a paper cut. Yeah, Bleach fans, be afraid. Be very afraid. Aizen is the only villain on this list or in recent memory at all who has no setbacks, no weaknesses, and has yet to see even a smidgen of karma for any of the vast multitude of sins he has committed. Not to mention, you just have to hate how cool he is about it. I know good is always supposed to triumph in shonen, but if things continue to go like they've been going for hundreds of episodes, I'd definitely be fearing this Reaper and his unwavering smile.
Let's see you try and talk your way out of this one, if you can.
Light Yagami from Death Note.
That's right. I am Kira.
The philosopher Kierkegaard once proposed that the root of all evil in the world was not selfish need, but boredom. Maybe it sounds silly until you've met this ambitious young honor student here. Like Sensui, Light Yagami, far from being pure evil, is a pure kind of evil. The tragic result of a snow-white, self-righteous legalism splashed with malice that instantly turns it pitch black. By chance, he obtains the notebook of a Shinigami, enabling him to instantly kill anyone he knows the name and face of with a stroke of the pen. And what dramatic strokes he takes, on paper and in the execution of his master plan. Why not become a worldwide judge, jury, and executioner? In the information age, Light can effortlessly search the names and faces of every criminal on Earth and eradicate all bad people from the world. Well, whoever he considers bad people.
It's not enough. This world is still rotten. With too many rotten people. There was no other way. The world had to be fixed. A purpose given to me. Only I could do it.
That, of course, includes good-hearted policemen who were assigned to investigate him, and have them disturbing the almighty cause, and the women he woos and manipulates to be his instruments of propaganda until they rust and burn.
Join me, Kiyomi, and you will be the goddess of the new world. Kiyomi Takeda. Suicide. January 26th, 2013. 2:32 p.m. Burns to death by setting fire to everything around her, including everything she wrote on.
He may not be as unblemished as he believes, but he knows the extent of his power and exactly how to use it. Let's face it, he's just smarter and more attractive than anyone else. He works fast and efficiently, and the Snake is a fantastic liar. If the villain is a snappy dresser with a silver tongue and the good guy is a greasy gnome with poor people skills, who are you gonna believe, right? I mean, he makes this look good.
I'll take a potato chip and eat it.
That astonishing charisma is the scariest thing about Kira. Not only does he have the people of his world completely fooled, he's got a frightful number of people in the real world enamored with him too. Hunt out a den of Death Note fanatics and you'll hear remarks like, "Light's an anti-hero," and "he had good intentions," and "he really deserves to win." The greatest defense for this dictator worship seems to be that Light was a good person who was misled by the Death Note, which was truly the evil instrument that possessed him. I've got news for you, Kyoto Clan members. For people that love him, you give him far too little credit. Anyone calling themselves God in episode 1 of anything has their heart in entirely the wrong place.
And I will become the god of this new world.
In the end, the Death Note is just a book, and Light?
You yielded to the power of the Shinigami in the notebook, and you have confused yourself with a god. In the end, you're nothing more than a crazy serial killer. That's all you are. Nothing more, and nothing less.
Light's fall from power that turns the arrogant idol into a slobbering infant.
Nazi, are you idiots? Who the hell do you think you're shooting at? I know you understand, so kill the others! Shoot them! Mikami, what are you waiting for? Write down their names! Write them down! Where are you, Misa? Where's Takara? What do I do now?
Bumps him down to number 3 overall, but he leaves a legacy as the god of death who took thousands of lives without mercy while the world watched and cheered.
Hey, mister! Over here! Look at him!
Legato Blue Summers from Trigun.
I found you, Vash the Stampede.
3 little words I know I gotta address. Why not Knives? I mean, Knives is the mastermind. Knives is Legato's master. He owns him, tells him what to do, and gosh darn it, Legato does it. Well, Knives may own Legato, but Legato's not his slave. On the contrary, he needs him to survive. Legato runs the regeneration plant, hires the other guns and manages their talents, and he's happy to do it of his own free will. This in itself makes him far more evil. Knives wants humanity exterminated because they scare him. He's not human, and humans have mistreated him. Legato is a whole new box of donuts.
Your reaction was better than I'd hoped. You're fun. And to think I could kill every man, woman, and child here in the blink of an eye if I wanted to.
He wants humanity exterminated because he has damned it from his childhood as a sex slave. From the newborn baby to the thieving outlaw, all deserve a slow, painful death in his eyes, which he is happy to give them with his limitless telekinetic abilities. I mean, forcing someone to shoot themselves is child's play. Why not make them claw through their chest and tear out their own heart?
What the hell are you doing?
It's simple. You're the first to die.
Legato can kill off a whole town by simply cutting off their brain functions, but it's a lot more fitting to walk them out of the city into a meat processing truck and paint the town monument with their blood. Knives may order him simply to kill, but Legato chooses and relishes a torturous demise for all humanity, including himself.
The day it all ends is near. I advise you to make good use of the time you have left.
No one else comes close to Legato's breadth of influence and depth of depravity. He holds absolute power, and far from being heartless like Vicious or Aizen, he is passionate with the desire to kill, mutilate, and in regards to Vash, devastate for all eternity. Vash has faced dozens of horrible men in the past and never batted an eyelash, beating them with his impeccable superpowers and finding the good in them to turn the worst of men into heroes. But one look at Legato absolutely terrifies him. There is no weakness in his cold yellow eyes, and he can't be stopped from killing hundreds of people, from Vash's friends to his own allies, and some that rest in between, in a game to break Vash's spirit and send him crawling back to Knives. A task made easier by his constant presence inside Vash's mind.
I decided to do this as my humble way of exhibiting grief for the loss of a good friend. How'd I do?
You again. Damn you!
Are you going to draw? You seem to think you've never killed anyone, but I'm afraid you're very sadly mistaken. You've killed countless people, including the Gung-Ho Guns and your friend, Nicholas D. Wolfwood.
I was forced to do that! I had no choice!
Vash may be a Superman, but ultimately Legato wins their battle in the most twisted way possible, dying by Vash's own hand.
Rem Saverum. A worthless human being. Just like me, but unlike you.
That's enough!
Vash the Stampede will experience eternal pain and suffering.
Oddly enough, Legato has won. He killed himself and ruined Vash, dooming the rest of humanity to face Knive's judgment while Vash contemplates suicide. He only fails to top this list because his competitor is far worse. But in this Western world of supervillains, the greatest monster of all is doubtlessly the soft-spoken human, the dream from the depths of hell. So let's recap this delicious list before unveiling the most criminal of all masterminds. At number 20, Delphine Erclea from Last Exile, only female to truly fit the profile. Number 19, Fabrizzo from Slayer's Next, representing maniacal munchkins. Number 18, Vicious from Cowboy Bebop, a snake with haunting presence. Number 17, Choji Suitengu from Speed Grabber, filthy rich and fiercely vengeful. Number 16, Gowron from Full Metal Panic, unkillable, unshakable venom of fear. Number 15, Akio Otori from Revolutionary Girl Utena, Satan with sex and swordplay. Number 14, Nakago from Fushigi Yugi, too wicked to be contained in a fairy tale. Number 13, Darcia III from Wolf's Reign, dark, demonic, and doggone devious. Number 12, Dio Brando from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, hardcore mayhem on a grand scale. Number 11, Gankutsuo from the Count of Monte Cristo, hatred incarnate and charisma unmatched. Number 10, Zameja from Hellsing Ultimate, mad, maniacal, motivational speaking at its best. Number 9, Frieza from Dragon Ball Z, frightful, unrelenting, and legendary monster. Number 8, Shinobu Sensui from Yu Yu Hakusho, a pure and multifaceted nightmare in the flesh. Number 7, Makoto Shishio from Rurouni Kenshin, hotter, better, faster, and stronger. Number 6, Griffith from Berserk, angelic devil that betrayed both friends and viewers. Number 5, Lad Russo from Bakano, making murder fun for everyone, but especially him. Number 4, Aizen Sosuke from Bleach, untouchable, unreachable, and without weakness. Number 3, Light Yagami from Death Note, love him and his reign of terror, or else. Number 2, Legato Blue Summers from Trigun, heartless, flawless, and victorious in defeat. But the number 1 most deliciously evil villain of all time absolutely must be... And I saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns. And upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the names of blasphemy. And they worshipped the dragon which gave power unto the beast, and they worshipped the beast, saying, Who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him? Revelations chapter 13, verses 1 and 4. After brilliant neurosurgeon Kenzo Tenma chooses to save a young boy's life over an important hospital patron, he is disgraced and nearly loses everything. But soon all the corrupt doctors that oppressed him mysteriously die, allowing Tenma to resume his life as a physician. It isn't until years later that Tenma realizes that these events were linked when he crosses paths with a serial killer that's been terrorizing Germany and taking dozens of lives. A very familiar serial killer.
I'm so glad I was able to help. That was a good thing.
Did you? Oh my God.
Isn't that what you wanted, Doctor? That's what you said anyway. Right after I regained consciousness, that's what you told me. That you hated them so much, you wished they were dead.
I am not wrong. He is... Bastard! Bastard! He'd be better off dead!
All that I did was grant you your wish, Doctor.
I'm afraid. Oh God! Save me, Doctor! I don't want to die! I don't want
was supposed to die that night. You're the one who resurrected me, Doctor.
Johann Liebert from Monster. As it turns out, Johann was part of a eugenics experiment conducted on orphans in a facility known as Kinderheim 511. The militaristic sicko's goal was to psychologically reprogram the Kinder to be the perfect soldiers. Results varied for many children, but Johann worked out much worse for the conspirators than they had ever planned.
人が集まると憎しみが生まれる。僕はそれにほんの少し油を注いだだけだよ。こう言ったんだよ。わずか10歳の少年がだよ。そして彼はやってのけたんだ。自分は指一本動かさずに50人もの人間を殺し合わせたんだ。
After his escape, Johann and his twin sister moved from guardian to guardian until Johann got bored, and until Anna finally caught him disposing of his old toys. Thanks to Tenma, he's free to once again pursue his goals. To kill every person he meets, preferably drive them to kill themselves because it's more fun, but he's not picky. Until he is the last one standing at the end of the world. Because everyone trusts Johann for some reason. City officials give him privileged information, women give him their numbers, children follow him around like a Disney mascot, and underground neo-Nazi organizations worship him and beg him to be their leader. But all of them will die horribly for trusting his childlike smile and genial words, some of them by his hand, some by their own. Particularly nasty are the fates of those children I mentioned, when Johann teaches them a new game that will make them just as strong as he is. It involves falling off a roof and seeing if they live. Well, a couple of them did, just to go try it again. Still, I think the worst of Johann's sins is not a murder, but the rescue of an alcoholic detective. Johann simply had to lift his spirits and gain his trust before he could really shock drop him into a full committal suicide with just one last case of wine.
飲みませんか?
Throughout it all, Johann cannot be killed, although he taunts many of the other characters to try it. The only person Johann permits to kill him is the golden-hearted Tenma, so that the monster that is so great inside of him will gobble up even the purest of men. Sounds like someone else I know.
そうでしょ.
Actually, anything any previous contender on the list does, Johann can do better. He even takes minority status away from Fabrizio by being an evil child as well as an adult, and minority status away from Delphine by doing an excellent impression of his twin sister. To put it as simply as I can, no anime villain in existence compares to Johann. When I was creating this list, I honestly had no idea what number any character would be until I sat down and tallied it out. The only thing I knew was that Johann would be number 1. I calculated the list first by tiering the characters slightly by popularity, but only slightly, and then stacking them by these averaged criteria. Johann gets a perfect score all across the board. Whether or not he becomes the last monster standing on the face of the earth, he truly is the greatest, the most deliciously evil of them all.
I'm the fly in your suit, I'm the devil in your shoe, I'm the demon in your bed, I'm the bump on every head, I'm the